First vlog of the year, huh? Good vlog. What a good way to start.
I am Harrison Mace, and fish call me Mr. Sophomore. That's my position.
That is your position, yeah.
That's right.
I'm Stephen Elliott. I'm the commanding officer of Squadron 18.
Connor Doyle. I'm one of the seniors in Squadron 18. I'm also the Scholastics and Career Readiness Officer.
All right, I'm ready. How's my makeup?
I am Andy Schierlo, and I am also Mr. Sophomore.
Schierlo.
My name is, do I give my SOW name or like my real name?
My name is Mark Mangle. I am
Hi, Mark Mangle.
Major Unit Executive Officer for 3rd Regiment.
Mr. Douglas. They don't know me as Mr. Douglas. They know me as Mr. Senior. My position is Public Relations Officer.
I am Logan Fitzgerald. People call me Fitz or Fitzy. And go figure, the fish call me Mr. Sophomore too. It gets a little confusing sometimes.
My name is Joshua Pacifico. I'm the guide on bear for Squadron 18.
Miss Lasan, and I'm Miss Sophomore at SOW, and I'm on the cadre.
My name is Emiliano Padilla. I am a Squadron 18 Platoon Sergeant, Training Sergeant.
So we just started SOW, which is
Spring orientation week. So it's like fall orientation week, except only for transfer outfits within the Corps.
The big picture is that not only does it serve to bring non-traditional students into the Corps, whether they're transferring from Galveston, another non-A&M university, or already a current student, but it serves as taking the fish that we had last semester who were only here for one semester's fish. They're already our sophomores in training. So not only is it training for the fish, but it's training for those new sophomores as well. So it serves a whole purpose for the outfit.
It seems very similar to like when I had my freshman orientation week, or even the one that like we had at the beginning of this year. Like it's the same exact type of environment, just with significantly less people. But I really enjoyed it.
Shocking the freshmen into being a member of the Corps.
Learn how to march, learn how to work out, and just learn how to operate in a military environment. They're learning how to do all the things that a regular fish does, and all the things that a cadet does. Become part of the Corps.
Exactly. They get to learn how to be a part of the Corps of Cadets here at A&M. So it's pretty much like, hey, here's how you do all this stuff to be in the Corps.
And we spend the entire week, as you can probably hear from outside, training them how to be a basic cadet in the Corps.
We get to whip them into shape a little bit, break them down, build them right back up. That's what we do.
And then we keep expanding on that and helping them learn through the rest of the year.
right now it's their second day. They're getting their hair cut, turning into real fish, looking like real fish now.
Here you go, Elliot. Get it.
They're all in their fish dress and their white t-shirts, their blue jeans, and their belts. So they're probably having a pretty good time, I would say. A lot of them have a lot of hair to lose. So
You got a full head of hair right there. You ready to run?
Sir, yes, sir. They're going through a very pivotal moment in their growth as freshmen right now. Okay.
Are y'all gonna cut your hair as well?
Sir, no sir. No sir.
There's like a mini village in there.
Pretty terrible.
There you go. How's it feel?
Feels great.
Good. You look better.
so we had to get here a couple days early just to get ready for SOW. So cadre SOW, we take care of the fish.
Love the cadre. Really good teachers. Awesome demonstrators. Everyone's really good at their job.
Cadre, they're kicking ass. They're impressing me a lot.
It's a lot of work because the fish come in here not knowing anything, and like we have to get them to the point where they can just be like regular cadets.
It's definitely challenging because I don't want to miss anything, and my goal becoming a sophomore was to make the fish better than me. If I can make them better cadets than me, then I did my job.
I don't think I've ever been this stressed in my whole Corps Cadets career.
I hope I'm on cadre for the rest of my time here at A&M.
From what I've seen, the piss heads are just being phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal this week.
Sophomores are stepping up, leading by example.
Buds are making their jobs really easy because they're just doing exactly what they're supposed to. They're really making sure the piss heads are doing what they're supposed to.
Seniors are that guiding spirit, as they always should be.
Duty calls. We will finish this interview later.
Oh, I guess we're
We need to head to
done.
the training.
You on the
Sorry.
guide on.
They are a hot commodity.
We are currently in the middle of some very intense freshman training. They're learning how to greet. They're learning how to make a perfect rack. There's some very hard things for freshmen to learn how to do.
Future of the Corps Cadets, 19 new kids. Nothing I'd rather be doing right now. Private's driving me a little crazy. Just a little crazy, but I love it.
The new class, some of them maybe all hitters, they seem pretty motivated across the board. I think overall they seem a lot more fit, enthusiastic, pretty easygoing. We don't have anyone who seems to be on edge. They seem to be following the example of their upperclassmen.
I believe in so many of them, and there's so many of them that if they tried to quit the Corps, I would do everything in my power that I could do to get them to stay.
Absolutely. Every single second every second that I call cadence is a blessing for them. And they're learning a lot.
They're a bunch of goofballs. I always tend to have a problem laughing because of when they do funny stuff, but I've never laughed as hard as I have with this class. One asked me if she could get permission to use the grape. I don't know what that means. I think she was trying to use the head, but she meant the grape. Then I have that one that falls out holding a sheet of freaking bed sheets instead of his white sheet of paper. And then I have another one that, just because we're hurrying him up, comes out with his freaking buckle all unfastened, like, ready to come out to the hallway half naked. Just had to send him back. So
they're going to make phenomenal cadets. They just need to zero in and dig down deep and realize every day is going to be hard, but it's definitely worth it in the end.
Like, it's just moments like that makes you think, like, man, like, these are just kids, man. Like, some of them are a year, maybe 2 years younger than me, but they're going to take over for me. They're going to take over for my seniors, and they're really the future of this course. So, I don't know, it's just really exciting.
Mr. Padilla, as you can plainly hear, is doing a pretty good job with the fish. We're speeding it up, so we're gonna have to correct that. So keep watching. We got way more to come.
To me, Squadron 18 is the best outfit on the quad, and they just do a phenomenal job making cadets in just a semester versus a whole entire year.
We are the premier transfer outfit of this corps. So if you look around the corps, all you have to do is look at billets. The sergeant major for 2nd Wing, Squadron 18 Frog. He came in the spring. Our commander right now, Frog, came in the spring. Our major unit commander, Frog, came in the spring. There's no reason why these cadets cannot be at the same level or even better than cadets who start here. Like, I honestly believe that in one semester we do more than some outfits do a whole year. We have these cadets training every time we can. Every single time we have a training plan, we're doing something with them. Every single time we have a training time, we're doing something with them. We're not here to waste our time, and they're not here to waste ours. We're here to work, we're here to get better, and we're here to be the best transfer outfit and best outfit in the Corps.
It's really, really exhausting at some points, but it's really, really worthwhile, I would say.
One of the greatest honors of my life. It's a huge privilege. It is for discipline that you endure. All discipline, for the moment, seems not to be joyful but sorrowful. Yet those who have been trained by it, afterwards it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness. Therefore, strengthen the hands that are weak and the knees that are feeble, and make straight the paths of your feet, so that the limb which is lame may not be put out of joint, but rather be healed. I started in Spring Orientation Week 3 years ago this week, and that week I knew that I wanted to do this one day, so it's a real dream come true.
I like to call everything an opportunity and a privilege. So I think it's my privilege to come here and teach these kids, because I honestly believe that they teach me more than I teach them.
Every evening, whenever we do the Medal of Honor citations for the fish, and you know, fish are locked up on the wall, they're not necessarily showing emotion, but I remember everyone I talk to say that's the most favorite part of orientation week. It's a very heavy time whenever they are all locked up together listening to people that have walked the same hallways as them, who have gone on to earn the Medal of Honor and served their country to the fullest. So that's a very special time for me. And then the things that will come at the end of the week.
Attention to orders. Keithley, George D., rank and organization, Staff Sergeant, U.S. Army, 85th Infantry Division. Place and date, Mount Altuzzo, Italy, 14 September 1944. Citation: for conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity at risk of life above and beyond the call of duty, in action on the western ridge of Mount Altuzzo, Italy. After bitter fighting, his company had advanced to within 50 yards of the objective, where it was held up due to intense enemy sniper, automatic small arms, and mortar fire. The enemy launched 3 desperate counterattacks in an effort to regain their former positions, but all 3 were repulsed with heavy casualties on both sides. All officers and non-commissioned officers of the 2nd and 3rd platoons of Company Bravo had become casualties, and Staff Sergeant Keithley, guide of the 1st platoon, moved up and assumed command of both the 2nd and 3rd platoons, reduced to 20 men. The remnants of the 2 platoons were dangerously low on ammunition, so Staff Sergeant Keithley, under deadly small arms and mortar fire, crawled from one casualty to another, collecting their ammunition and administering first aid. He then visited each man of his 2 platoons, issuing the precious ammunition he had collected from the dead and wounded, and giving them words of encouragement. The enemy now delivered their 4th counterattack, which was approximately 2 companies in strength. In a furious charge, they attacked from the front and both flanks, throwing hand grenades, firing automatic weapons, and assisted by a terrific mortar barrage. So strong was the enemy counterattack that the company was given up for lost. The remnants of the 2nd and 3rd platoons of Company Bravo were now looking to Staff Sergeant Keithley for leadership. He shouted his orders precisely and with determination, and the men responded with all that was in them. Time after time, the enemy tried to drive a wedge into Staff Sergeant Keithley's position, and each time they were driven back, suffering huge casualties. Suddenly, an enemy hand grenade hit and exploded near Staff Sergeant Keithley, inflicting a mortal wound in his left side. However, hurling defiance at the enemy, he rose to his feet. Taking his left hand away from his wound and using it to steady his rifle, he fired and killed an attacking enemy soldier and continued shouting orders to his men. His heroic and intrepid action so inspired his men that they fought with incomparable determination and viciousness. For 15 minutes, Staff Sergeant Keithley continued leading his men and effectively firing his rifle. He could have sought a sheltered spot and perhaps saved his life, but instead he elected to set an example for his men and make every possible effort to hold his position. Finally, friendly artillery fire helped to force the enemy to withdraw, leaving behind many of their number either dead or seriously wounded. Staff Sergeant Keithley died a few moments later. Had it not been for his indomitable courage and incomparable heroism, the remnants of 3 rifle platoons of Company Bravo might well have been annihilated by the overwhelming enemy attacking force. His actions were in keeping with the highest traditions of military service.
Some may blow some proudest blow of the school they think so grand, but there's a spirit in every tone. It's the spirit of Aggie land. We are the Aggies are we. True to each other as Aggies can be. We've got to fight, boys, we've got to fight. We've got to fight for maroon and white. After they roosted all the